Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 2. In order to remove the error of parallax when taking measurements with a meter rule, the eye should be focused A. Slantingly towards the left on the markings, B. Slantingly towards the right on the markings, C. Vertically downwards on the markings, D. Vertically upwards on the markings. So what we're looking at here is error of parallax, and basically you are asked what do you do in order to remove error of parallax when taking measurements with a meter rule. Now the error of parallax is an error of observation. Okay, it's an error of observation. So for example, you have a meter rule like this with its markings, okay, this way. So you have the markings here. So when taking measurements with a meter rule, the eye is supposed to be, so this is the eye of the observer. The eye is supposed to be focused directly vertically downwards on the markings in order to remove or to prevent error of parallax. So when you have the eye of the observer something like this, okay, slantingly towards the markings, you are likely to have error of parallax. So in order to prevent that, the eye of the observer should be focused directly or vertically downwards on the markings, and that is option C. So C, vertically downwards on the markings, is how to eliminate error of parallax. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. And welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 3. A load is pulled at a uniform speed along a horizontal floor by a rope at 45 degrees to the floor. If the force in the rope is 1500 Newton, what is the frictional force on the load? A. 1524 Newton, B. 1350 Newton, C. 1260 Newton, D. 1061 Newton. So you have a horizontal floor, okay, something like this, and you have a rope 45 degrees to the floor, the horizontal floor, being used to pull a load. So the load is on this horizontal floor, okay, and then the rope is inclined at 45 degrees and being used to pull this load. Now we're asked, if the force in the rope is 1500 Newton, what is the frictional force on the load? Now the frictional force will be given as mg cos theta, where mg will be equal to the force, which in this case is the force in the rope. So F is equal to 1500 multiplied by cos theta, which is the angle at which the rope is attached. So cos 45 degrees, and if you do this, it's equal to 1060.66, okay, Newton, which is approximately 1061 Newton. 1061 Newton is option D. So D is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 5. You have a diagram here which is a velocity time graph. So you are asked, from the velocity time graph shown above, which of the following quantities cannot be determined? A. Deceleration, B. Initial velocity, C. Total distance traveled, D. Initial acceleration. So you have this velocity time graph given to us, and we're asked which quantity cannot be obtained from this velocity time graph. So let's analyze each of the options. Now option A says deceleration. Now in a velocity time graph, this part here, okay, which is like the decrease in velocity, is known as the deceleration, and as you can see, it is represented in the graph, so it can be determined using the graph, and hence option A, deceleration, is not the answer to this question. Now B says initial velocity. Now you can actually get initial velocity from this, because from the start of the graph, the velocity is 60 meters per second. So that is the initial velocity of the motion represented by the velocity time graph, and hence, since you can find it from the graph, it is not the answer to this question. Now C says total distance traveled. Now from the velocity time graph, you can always ascertain total distance traveled, since you are giving the velocity and the time. Of course, velocity is equal to displacement or distance over time. So if you have velocity and time, then you can definitely deduce the distance. So this is not the answer to the question. Now option D says initial acceleration. Now from this graph, you cannot ascertain the initial acceleration, because what you have from the start of the graph here is a constant velocity, which is 60. Okay, so usually you can have a velocity time graph looking like this. If you have something like this, what you have here is the initial acceleration, and then here of course is the constant velocity, and then here you have the deceleration. So from this, now this portion of the graph is missing, or is not available in this graph, so you cannot find the initial acceleration. So since you cannot determine that, D is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 6. Calculate the total distance covered by a train before coming to rest if its initial speed is 30 meters per second with a constant retardation of 0.1 meters per second. A. 5,500 meters, B. 4,500 meters, C. 4,200 meters, D. 3,000 meters. So you have a situation where a train has been stopped, but obviously when any vehicle or a train is stopped, the velocity gradually decreases before it comes to a halt. So that decrease in velocity before it comes to a halt is what is described as the retardation. So now we are asked, what is the distance it will cover before it eventually comes to rest? That is, what is the distance it will cover as it is retarding. Okay, so to solve this, you would make use of Newton's third equation, which is v square is equal to u square plus 2as, where v is the final velocity, u is initial velocity, a is the acceleration, and s is the distance. So s is what you would be looking for. Now it will be important to note that v will be equal to 0 meters per second, because it's coming, okay, the train will be stopping. So since it is coming to a halt, the final velocity is going to be 0 meters per second. Okay, so let's make s, which we are looking for, subject of the formula. So if you make that v square minus u square is equal to 2a is equal to 2as over 2a. So if you are doing this, s will be equal to v square minus u square over 2a. Now remember, we said v is 0, so that means s will be equal to u square over 2a. So u square, of course, which is the initial velocity, is equal to 30 meters per second. So 30 square over 2 multiplied by, now we said a is acceleration, but in this case what we are using as a is our retardation, since it is coming to a halt. So our retardation is 0.1. So 30 square over 2 times 0.1 is equal to 4,500 meters. So 4,500 meters is the distance it will cover before it comes to a stop, and 4,500 is option B. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 7. A car starts from rest and moves with a uniform acceleration of 30 meters per second square for 20 seconds. Calculate the distance covered at the end of the motion. A. 6 kilometers, B. 12 kilometers, C. 18 kilometers, D. 24 kilometers. So this can be directly solved using Newton's the second equation of motion, which is s is equal to ut plus half at square. So we are looking for the distance, which is s. So s is equal to u, which is the initial velocity. Now initial velocity will be 0 because it starts at rest. So 0 multiplied by the time, 20 seconds, plus 1/2 a, which is the acceleration, 30, multiplied by t, which is the time, 20 square. So everything here is equal to 0. So s is equal to 1/2 times 30 times 20 square. So this altogether is equal to 6,000 meter. And converting that to kilometer, 6,000 meter divided by 1,000, of course, will be equal to 6 kilometer. So 6 kilometer is A, which is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. A rocket is fired from the Earth's surface to a distant planet. By Newton's law of universal gravitation, the force F will A. increase as R reduces, B. increase as G varies, C. remain constant, D. increases as R increases. So Newton's universal law of gravitation is mathematically represented like this: F is equal to G m1 m2 over R square. So if you split this formula into its constituents, what it simply means is that the force, okay, is directly proportional to the product of the masses, okay, between the two bodies, okay, and then that force is also inversely proportional to the square of the radius, okay, or the distance apart, rather, not the radius, the square of the distance apart. So R is the distance. Now from this we can deduce two things, okay. So let's look at this from the options. Now A says increases as R reduces. Now if the force is inversely proportional to the square of the radius, or the radius itself, it means that as the force increases, okay, the distance, not the radius, the distance decreases. As force increases, the distance decreases. So that is what is seen in A. Option A, the force will increase as R reduces, showing the inverse proportionality between the two. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 9. If a freely suspended object is pulled to one side and released, it oscillates about the point of suspension because A. acceleration is directly proportional to the displacement, B. motion is directed away from the equilibrium point, C. acceleration is directly proportional to the square of the displacement, D. velocity is minimum at the equilibrium point. So let's say you have something like a simple pendulum. Mounted this way. So this is the point where it is mounted, and it is hanging this way, okay, hanging this way. Now when it is pulled to one side and released, it will oscillate this way, then of course this way. So this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. So to and fro, that's oscillatory motion. So why, the question is why does this actually happen? Now if you observe this setup, this simple pendulum setup, you can see that the equilibrium point is the middle. So when you actually leave it hanging like this, it is at equilibrium, that is, it is not moving either direction. But when you pull it to one side and release it, it is going to oscillate about this point of suspension, mainly because the motion, okay, is away from the point of equilibrium. So you pull it away from the point of equilibrium and release it, hence oscillatory motion would take place. So B says motion is directed away from the equilibrium point, and that's actually what we have described. So B is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 10. An object moves in a circular path of radius 0.5 meters with a speed of 1 meters per second. What is its angular velocity? A. 8 per radian. B. 4 radians per second rather. So C. 2 radians per second. D. 1 radians per second. So angular velocity omega is given as v square over r. This is r, v square over r. So the velocity v is given to us as 1 meter per second. So 1 square over r, the radius of the circular path, so 0.5. So this is equal to 1 over 0.5, and it's equal to 2 radians per second. So 2 radians per second is option C, which is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 12. You have a diagram here, and it says the diagram above shows a wooden block just about to slide down an inclined plane whose inclination to the horizontal is alpha. The coefficient of frictional force between the block and the plane is A. Sin alpha, B. Tan alpha, C. Cot alpha, D. Cos alpha. So we're asked to find coefficient of frictional force, which is usually represented by mu, and the formula for that is the frictional force divided by the normal reaction. Okay, so in this case, the frictional force is given by mg sine alpha. For an inclination like this with an angle, the frictional force F is given as mg sine alpha, or whatever angle you are given, and then the normal reaction, which is R, is given by mg cos alpha. So coefficient of the frictional force is equal to mg sine alpha divided by mg cos alpha. So mg will cancel mg, and sine over cos is equal to tan. So the coefficient of friction is tan alpha. Tan alpha is B, which is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 13. An object of mass 20 kg slides down an inclined plane at an angle of 30 degrees to the horizontal. The coefficient of static friction is A. 0.2, B. 0.3, C. 0.5, D. 0.6, and acceleration due to gravity is given to us as 10 meters per second square. So you have something like this, which is the horizontal, and then you have an inclined plane, inclined at an angle of 30 degrees to the horizontal, and you have an object of mass 20 kilogram sliding down this inclined plane. So we're asked, what is the coefficient of static friction? Mu. Now the coefficient of friction is given as the frictional force F over the normal reaction R. So for an inclined plane, the frictional force is given as mg sine theta, and then the normal reaction is given as mg cos theta. So this cancels this. Now sine theta over cos theta is tan theta. Therefore, in order to find the coefficient of friction for this question, all we need to do is take the tangent of angle 30 degrees. So tan 30 degrees is equal to 0.577, and that is approximately 0.6. 0.6 is option D, which is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 14. A block and tackle is used to raise a load of 250 Newton through a vertical distance of 30 meters. What is the efficiency of the system if the work done against friction is 1500 joules? So I asked to calculate efficiency for a block and tackle system, and that is given as work output divided by work input times 100 over 1. 100 over 1 because efficiency is measured in percentage. So for the work output, work of course is force times distance. So work output for this will be the force multiplied by the vertical distance, which is 30 meters. So 250 multiplied by 30 divided by the work input. Now the work input is also 250 multiplied by 30. However, you have the work done against friction of 1500 joules. So whatever you get as the work of this, you add that to the friction. So multiply by 100. So this is equal to 0.833 times 100, and that is equal to 83.3%. 83.3% is option C, which is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 15. If a load of 1 kg stretches a cord by 1.2 centimeters, what is the force constant of the cord? A. 866 Newton per meter, B. 833 Newton per meter, C. 769 Newton per meter, D. 667 Newton per meter. And we have acceleration due to gravity as 10 meters per second square. So this has to do with stretching of a cord, so elasticity. Hence, we'll be making use of Hooke's law. And Hooke's law, of course, is giving us F, which is the force, equal to KE. K being the force constant and E being extension. Now, for this question, we are supposed to look for the force constant, which is K. So if you make K subject to formula, K is equal to F over E. Now, K equal to, now for the force of course will be equal to the mass times acceleration due to gravity. So that is mg over E, which is the extension. So m, mass, is equal to 1 multiplied by the acceleration due to gravity, which is 10 meters per second square, over extension. Now the extension is given to us by in centimeters. So we would say, to convert to meters, we'll divide it by 100. So 1.2 divided by 100. So this is equal to 10 multiplied by 100 over 1.2. Of course, if you do this, multiply 1 by 10, that is 10. So divided by 1.2, okay, over 100. So that is 10 times 100 over 1.2. So that's how we arrived at this. And if you multiply this and divide by this, what you'll get is 833.3, which is approximately 833 Newton per meter. 833 Newton per meter is option B. So that is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome, and I'll be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 16. An object of volume 1 meter cube and mass 2 kilogram is totally immersed in a liquid of density 1 kilogram per meter cube. Calculate its apparent weight. A. 20 Newton, B. 10 Newton, C. 2 Newton, D. 1 Newton. Acceleration due to gravity is given to us as 10 meters per second square. So we have a situation here where we have the volume and the mass of an object in air given to us, and then we are told that it is immersed totally in a liquid of density 1 kilogram per meter cube. So by the time you immerse that object in this particular liquid of this density given to us, the apparent weight in the liquid will be different from the actual weight, okay, in air. So we are asked to calculate that apparent weight after it has been immersed in the liquid. Now we are given the mass, so we would calculate the weight. Of course, mass and weight are not the same thing, as weight is given by mass multiplied by the acceleration due to gravity. So mass is 2, acceleration due to gravity is 10, so this is equal to 20 Newton. So that is the weight. Now the formula for density, which is symbolized by rho, is given as mass over volume. Therefore mass, of course, is equal to density multiplied by volume. Now for this, we are given the density of the liquid. So in order to find the mass, okay, of the object in liquid, we multiply the density of that liquid by the volume of the object. So that is given as 1 multiplied by 1, which is 1 kilogram. So this is the mass in liquid. Remember, from the question we're given the mass in air, so we found the mass in liquid. Now just as we found the weight in air, we can also find the weight in liquid, so that is given, of course, by the mass in liquid multiplied by acceleration due to gravity, which is 1 multiplied by 10, and that is 10 Newton. Therefore, since we have the weight in air and the weight in liquid, we can now calculate the apparent weight of the object, which is equal to the weight in air minus the weight in the liquid. So that is equal to 20 minus 10, and that is equal to 10 Newton. So 10 Newton is the apparent weight. 10 Newton is option B. So that is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I'll be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 17. The pressure at any point in a liquid at rest depends only on the A. Depth and the density, B. Mass and the volume, C. Quantity and the surface area, D. Surface area and the viscosity. So we are asked that what does the pressure at any point in a liquid at rest depend on? So that is the question we are asked. Now the pressure at any point in a liquid is dependent on 3 factors. The first one is depth, the second is the density of that liquid, and the third is acceleration due to gravity. Now these 3 factors are directly proportional to the pressure at that point. So the depth is directly proportional to pressure. So this means that as the depth increases, okay, as you go deeper, so as the depth increases, the pressure also increases, and vice versa. Decrease in depth means decrease in pressure. The density also is directly proportional to the pressure. Okay, so similarly, increase in density means increase in pressure, and likewise decrease. And then acceleration due to gravity also exhibits a direct proportionality with the pressure. So from these 3 factors we have mentioned, depth and density is what we have as option A. So option A, the depth and density, is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 18. A balloon whose volume is 300 meters square is filled with hydrogen. If the density of air is 1.3 kilogram per meter cube, find the upthrust on the balloon. A, 3000 Newton, B, 3800 Newton, C, 3900 Newton, D, 4200 Newton. Acceleration due to gravity is given to us as 10 meters per second square. So upthrust, of course, is a force, and force is usually given as ma or mg, that is g being acceleration due to gravity, multiplied by the mass of whatsoever body the force is acting on. Now we are given the density, so basically the relationship between mass and density is what we'll be looking for in order to solve this question. Now density is given as mass over volume. So this means that if you make mass subject of the formula, the mass is equal to the density multiplied by the volume. So we can actually substitute this as m in this equation, F equals to mg. So F is equal to rho vg, that is the density multiplied by the volume multiplied by the acceleration due to gravity. So F, which is, remember, the F is the force, that is the upthrust, is given as the density 1.3 multiplied by volume, which is 300 multiplied by 10, which is acceleration due to gravity. So F is equal to 3900 Newton. 3900 Newton. Actually, if this is volume, this should be cube. Yeah. So 3900 Newton. 3900 Newton is option C, which is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 19. Clinical thermometers are examples of A. Pressure gas thermometer, B. Resistance thermometer, C. Alcohol thermometer, D. Mercury in glass thermometer. So clinical thermometers are basically the thermometers that are used in hospitals and clinics for measurement of human body temperature. Measurements of human body temperature. And we are asked what type or what example of thermometer is clinical thermometer. Now, based on the thermometric substance or liquid present in a clinical thermometer, the clinical thermometer is a mercury in glass thermometer, meaning that the thermometric substance inside the liquid inside the thermometer, inside the tube of the thermometer, is mercury. So that is why it is described as a mercury in glass thermometer. So mercury in glass thermometer is option D. So that is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 20. Two metals P and Q are heated through the same temperature difference. If the ratio of the linear expansivities of P to Q is 2:3 and the ratio of their length is 3:4 respectively, the ratio of the increase in length of P to Q is A. 1:2, B. 2:1, C. 8:9, D. 9:8. So this has to do with linear expansivity, and linear expansivity alpha is given as L2 minus L1 over L1 multiplied by temperature difference theta. Okay, so theta is usually equal to theta 2 minus theta 1. So this is the temperature difference, which we have represented by theta. Now for this question, the difference in length, okay, is what we'll be looking for. So let's say let L2 minus L1 will be equal to L. So our alpha linear expansivity is equal to L over L1 theta. Now we are looking for, of course, the increase in length. Okay, we are looking for the ratio of increase in length, so let's make that subject of the formula. And if you do that, L is equal to alpha L1 theta. Okay, so now it is a ratio. What we are looking for is a ratio, so we would say LP, that is the increase in length of P which we are looking for, over LQ, so we'll be looking for ratio, so we'll do this like this, equal to the linear expansivity of P multiplied by L1 of P multiplied by theta over linear expansivity of Q multiplied by L1 of Q multiplied by theta. Now from the question it says they're heated through the same temperature difference, so theta for both P and Q have the same value, so it means that they can cancel out. So that means LP over LQ is equal to alpha P L1P over alpha Q L1Q. Okay, so this means that LP over LQ is equal to, now the ratio of the linear expansivities alpha P and alpha Q is what we'll substitute. So starting from alpha P, okay, that is the linear expansivity of P, that is 2. So 2 multiplied by the initial length of P, which is 3, divided by the linear expansivity of Q, which is 3, multiplied by the initial length of Q, which is 4. So this is equal to 6 over 12, and that is equal to 1 over 2, or 1:2. So that is the ratio of their increase in length. 1:2 is option A. So A is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 21. 2000 cm cube of a gas is collected at 27 degrees Celsius and 700 millimeters mercury. What is the volume of the gas at standard temperature and pressure? A, 1896, that is 1896.5 centimeters. B, 1767.3 centimeter cube. C, 1676.3 centimeter cube. D, 1456.5 centimeter cube. So this is actually under the general gas equation, or the general gas law, and it is one which is mathematically given as P1 V1 over T1 is equal to P2 V2 over T2. Now we're asked to calculate the volume. Okay, that is, we'll take that as our V2. So V2 is unknown. So our V1 is of course 2000 centimeter cube. The T1 is 27 degrees Celsius, but we won't be using it in degrees Celsius, we'll convert to Kelvin. So if you add that to 273, you have 300 Kelvin. Okay, then our T2 of course is standard temperature, so that is 273 Kelvin, and then the P1, which is the pressure, initial pressure, will be 700 millimeter mercury, and then P2 will be the standard pressure, which is 760 millimeters mercury. So V2, if you make V2 subject of formula, V2 will be equal to P1 V1 T2, okay, P1 V1 T2 divided by P2 T1. So P1 of course is 700 multiplied by V1, which is 2000, multiplied by T2, which is 273, divided by P2 760 multiplied by T1, which is 300. So that is equal to 1676.3 centimeter cube. So that is the second or the final volume. So 1676.3 cm cube is option C. So C is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 22. Calculate the temperature change when 500 joules of heat is supplied to 100 grams of water. A. 12.1 degrees Celsius, B. 2.1 degrees Celsius, C. 1.2 degrees Celsius, D. 0.1 degrees Celsius. And we have specific heat capacity of water 4,200 joules per kilogram per Kelvin. Now, the quantity of heat as it relates to capacity, specific heat capacity, and mass of whatever is being heated is given by mc theta, where m is the mass, c is the specific heat capacity, and then theta is the temperature change. So in this question, we're calculating the temperature change, which is theta. So if you make theta subject of the formula, theta is equal to q over mc. That is the quantity of heat divided by the mass multiplied by the specific heat capacity. Now, the quantity of heat is given as 500 joules, so that is 500 divided by mass. Now, the mass is given to us in grams, so we need to convert it to kilogram because of this specific heat capacity unit. So to do that, you say 100 grams divided by 1000 is equal to 0.1 kilogram. So 0.1 multiplied by the specific heat capacity of water, which is 4,200, and if you do this, this is equal to 1.19 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 1.2 degrees Celsius. 1.2 degrees Celsius here is option C. So C is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 23. Which of the following is not a factor that can increase the rate of evaporation of water in a lake? A. Increase in the pressure of the atmosphere. B. Rise in temperature. C. Increase in the average speed of the molecules of water. D. Increase in the kinetic energy of the molecules of water. So you have four factors here, and you are asked for which of them is not a factor that increases or can increase the rate of evaporation of water in a lake. So the first one says increase in the pressure of atmosphere. Now, increase in pressure of atmosphere or increase in atmospheric pressure cannot be linked to evaporation rate. So for this reason, it is not a factor that can increase the rate of evaporation. So it is actually the answer to this question. But let's look at the other ones and see how they affect the rate of evaporation. Now, B says rise in temperature. Now, obviously, increase in temperature increases the rate of evaporation. So that's the reason why if you heat a particular sample of water, when you heat it, it is more likely to evaporate, because increase in temperature increases rate of evaporation. So that is the reason why it is not the answer, because it is actually a factor that can increase the rate of evaporation of water in a lake. Now, C says increase in the average speed of molecules of water. Now, temperature, according to the kinetic theory or the kinetic molecular theory, temperature is defined as a function of the average kinetic energy of the molecules. Okay, it's a function of the kinetic energy of molecules, and kinetic energy, of course, is a function of mass and velocity. So it means that if you increase the velocity of the molecules, okay, it will affect the kinetic energy. If you increase velocity, kinetic energy will also increase. So of course, average speed or average velocity, as you can see, affects the temperature and hence affecting the rate of evaporation. So as you can see, it is not the answer. And of course, this says increase in kinetic energy. Like we said, according to the kinetic theory, Temperature is defined as a function of the kinetic energy possessed by the molecules. So increasing the kinetic energy means increasing the temperature and hence the rate of evaporation as well. So as we have rightly established, A, which is increasing the pressure of the atmosphere, is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 25. So you have 4 items given to you here. 1 says it's a rapid, constant and irregular motion of tiny particles. 2 says it gives evidence that tiny particles of matter called molecules exist. 3 says it takes place only in gases. 4 says it gives evidence that molecules are in a constant state of random motion. Now this is the question here. Which of the combinations above is correct about Brownian motion? A, 1, 2 and 3 only. B, 2, 3 and 4 only. C, 1, 3 and 4 only. D, 1, 2 and 4 only. Now, Brownian motion is the term used to illustrate the constant random motion, okay, that gas molecules or particles undergo. So that is what Brownian motion is all about. So let's analyze each of the items given to us. So 1 says it's a rapid, constant and irregular motion of tiny particles. Now this is also, yes, a description of Brownian motion, so it is correct about Brownian motion. Now 2 says it gives evidence that tiny particles of matter called molecules exist. Now Brownian motion does not give evidence, okay, the keyword here is evidence of existence of molecules. Brownian motion does not prove the existence of molecules, so it is not the answer, or it is not part of the answers. Now 3 says it takes place only in gases. Yes, Brownian motion is only studied in gases. And then 4 says it gives evidence that molecules are in a constant state of random motion. Like we stated in this definition, it is also correct. So that is 1, 3 and 4. So 1, 3 and 4 only is option C. So C is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 26. The equation of a wave traveling in a horizontal direction is expressed as y is equal to 15 sine 2 pi over 5 (60t minus x). What is its wavelength? A, 60 meters, B, 15 meters, C, 5 meters, D, 2 meters. So you have this equation given to you here representing a wave traveling in a horizontal direction, and you're asked to find its wavelength. So in order to do this, you compare this equation. Y is equal to 15 sine 2 pi over 5, okay, 60 t minus x. You compare it with the general wave equation, which is equal to y is equal to a sine 2 pi over 5, okay, sorry, y is equal to a sine 2 pi ft minus x over lambda. So you'll be comparing these two equations in order to get the answer to this question. Now, from the general equation, the wave equation itself, lambda is present in this segment, and lambda is what you are looking for. That is the wavelength. Lambda wavelength is what you are looking for. So it is in this segment. So if you multiply it by what is outside here, you would have 2 pi x over lambda, okay. So this is what you'll be using to calculate the answer. Now you also compare it with a similar part from the equation that was given to you. So you say it's equal to, you compare it with this same part, 2 pi, okay, 2 pi x. So that part multiplied by this 2 pi x divided by 5. So if you cross multiply, you would have 5 times 2, which is 10 pi x, is equal to 2 pi x lambda. And then you are making lambda subject of a formula, so you divide through by 2 pi x. So 2 pi x cancels 2 pi x, and if you have 2 pi x here, pi x cancels pi x, and then 2 into 10 is 5. Therefore, this means that lambda is equal to 5 meters. So the wavelength lambda is equal to 5 meters, and 5 meters is C. So that is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I'll be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 27. From the diagram above, if the particle F is at a distance x from 0 to the right, the phase of vibration will be different from that at 0 by A, 2 pi x over lambda, B, pi x over lambda, C, lambda over 2 pi x, D, lambda over pi x. So you have this diagram here showing a wave graph, and then this object x, this particle F rather, travels the distance x from the origin, which is the point 0, towards the right. So why is that the phase of vibration will be different by what? Now, from the wave formula, the general wave formula, which is A sine 2 pi bracket ft minus x over lambda, you can actually deduce the phase of vibration of a wave, the phase of vibration, and the phase of vibration of a wave is usually given as 2 pi x over lambda, 2 pi x over lambda. So 2 pi x over lambda is option A. So the answer to this question is A. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 28. Which of the following factors will affect the velocity of sound? A. An increase in the pitch of the sound. B. An increase in the loudness of the sound. C. Wind traveling in the same direction of the sound. D. A change in the atmospheric pressure at constant temperature. So you have sound and factors that affect the velocity of sound. Now, sound specifically, when traveling through air, that is when air is the medium of propagation, the most likely factor to affect the velocity of sound is wind. Okay, so the direction and speed of wind is most likely to affect the velocity of the sound. So for example, if you have sound traveling through air in this direction, okay, and you also have wind blowing in this direction, the velocity of the sound is likely to increase. So what we have just said, wind, is option C. Wind traveling in the same direction of the sound is likely to affect the velocity of the sound. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 29. The characteristic of a vibration that determines its intensity is the A. Frequency, B. Overtone, C. Wavelength, D. Amplitude. So what you're looking at here is intensity, and intensity of course is a characteristic of sound. Okay, here it is written as vibration, but actually sound of course is a form of energy that originates from vibration of particles, hence the reason why it is referred to here as vibration. So we said, what characteristic determines its intensity? So intensity as a general characteristic of sound is defined as the rate of flow of energy per second per unit area perpendicular to the direction of propagation of sound. Okay, now intensity is dependent on amplitude. So amplitude is that characteristic of the vibration that determines the intensity. The higher the amplitude, the higher the intensity. The lower the amplitude, the lower the intensity as well. Option D is amplitude. So D is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 30. Where can a man place his face to get an enlarged image when using a concave mirror to shave? A. Between the center of curvature and the principal focus. B. At the principal focus. C. Between the principal focus and the pool. D. At the center of curvature. So one of the applications of concave mirrors is that they can be used as shaving mirrors. Okay. Now this is because of their ability to form enlarged images. Now in order to get an enlarged image, the man or the person shaving must place his face close to the mirror or near the mirror, specifically between the principal focus and the pole. So you get an image that is enlarged, of course, erect and virtual. So between the principal focus and the pole is where the man can place his face to get an enlarged image, and that is option C, between the principal focus and the pole. So C is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 31. A pinhole camera is placed 300 meters in front of a building so that the image is formed on a screen 5 cm from the pinhole. If the image is 2.5 cm high, the height of the building will be A. 25 meters, B. 50 meters, C. 100 meters, D. 150 meters. So we're asked to calculate the height of a building that is in front of a pinhole camera that has been placed. So the pinhole camera has been placed 300 meters in front of the building. So this means that the object distance is equal to 300 meters, and we're representing that by U. Now on the pinhole camera, the image is formed 5 cm from the pinhole, so that means the image distance is equal to 5 centimeters. Now they said if the image is 2.5 cm high, so the height of the image is equal to 2.5 cm. So we have to find the height of the object. Now for a pinhole camera, V over U is equal to HI over HO. So if we input our values, okay, and make HO object height subject to a formula, HO will be equal to U multiplied by HI divided by V. and that is equal to 300 multiplied by 2.5 over 5, and everything here is equal to 150 meters. 150 meter is option D. So D is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics past question 32. The magnification of an object 2 centimeters tall when placed 10 centimeters in front of a plane mirror is A 6.0, B 1.0, C 0.7, D 0.6. So you are asked to calculate the magnification of an object of this particular height, 2 centimeters, when it is placed 10 centimeters in front of a plane mirror. Now note, it is placed in front of a plane mirror. Now the important thing to note about plane mirrors is that for plane mirrors, magnification is always equal to 1. Now this is because the image formed by the plane mirror, images formed by plane mirror are the same size as the object. Okay, images formed by plane mirror are the same size of the object. So if the object height is, that is, if object height is 2 cm and the image height, like we said in plane mirror, is the same size as the object, so that means the image size will also be 2 centimeters. Therefore, the magnification V over U will be equal to 2 over 2, and that is equal to 1. So option B is 1.0. So that is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics past question 33. After reflection from the concave mirror, rays of light from the sun converges A at the radius of curvature, B at the focus, C beyond the radius of curvature, D between the focus and the radius of curvature. So there are two types of mirrors, two types of curved mirrors to be specific. Two types of curved mirrors. You have the concave mirror and of course the convex mirror. Now we're asked for a concave mirror, what happens when where do rays of light converge after reflection from a concave mirror? Now when a concave mirror is drawn, okay, something like this, when a concave mirror is drawn, there is that radius of curvature, or that axis, where various objects are formed, or where objects or images are formed in relation to where the object is. So the various images are formed with respect to this axis depending on where the image is placed also on the axis. Now there is the center of curvature, which is C. There is the focus. Okay, now for the sun, it is located beyond the center of curvature. So because it is located beyond the center of curvature, the image will be formed between the focus and the radius of curvature. So because of the position of the sun, remember what we are looking at is light from the sun. So the sun in this case is taken as the object, and of course whatever mirror you may be holding, the sun is definitely far away, very far away from that mirror. So that's why we consider the object to be at that distance, and then the image is formed between the focus and the radius of curvature. Now the image that will be formed will be real, diminished, and inverted. So for the question we're asked, D is between the focus and the radius of curvature. So that is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 34. A glass block of thickness 10 cm is placed on an object. If an observer views the object vertically, the displacement of the object is A. 3.33 cm, B. 5 cm, C. 6.67 cm, D. 8.50 cm. So we have to calculate the displacement of an object as viewed from a glass block of thickness 10 centimeter. So when the glass block is placed on top of an object, what will be the displacement of the object when an observer views it vertically through the glass block? Now the displacement is given as T bracket 1 minus 1 over refractive index of glass. Refractive index of glass is given as 1.5 and T, which is our thickness, is given to us as 10. So it means the displacement is equal to T bracket, okay, thickness, that is 10 bracket 1 minus 1 over refractive index 1.5, then 10 into all this, so that is equal to 10 minus 10 over 1.5. This is equal to 15 minus 10 over 1.5, and that is equal to 5 over 1.5. 5 over 1.5 is equal to 3.33 centimeters. 3.33 centimeters is option A. So A is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 35. So we have three factors given to us here. The first says rays of light travel from a less dense medium to a denser medium. Second says the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle. 3 says rays of light travel from a denser medium to a less dense medium. Now the question is, which of the statements above are conditions for total internal reflection to occur? A. 1 and 2 only, B. 1 and 3 only, C. 2 and 3 only, D. 2 only. So the concept we are looking at here is total internal reflection. Total internal reflection. And total internal reflection usually occurs due to two factors or two conditions. Two conditions or two factors. And those factors are: the first is light must be traveling from an optically denser medium to a less dense medium. And then the second factor or condition is the angle of incidence in the denser medium must be greater than the critical angle. So these are the two conditions for total internal reflection to occur. Now, from the items given to us, the first says rays of light travels from a less dense medium to a denser medium. So this is not correct as a condition for total internal reflection, because like one of the conditions we mentioned, it must be traveling from a denser medium to a less dense medium. So this is not correct. Now 2 says the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle. Like the second point we mentioned, angle of incidence in the denser medium must be greater than critical angle. So that is correct. And then the third one says rays of light travel from a denser medium to a less dense medium. And like we mentioned in the first factor, that is correct. So the statements correct for total internal reflection in this question are statements 2 and 3. Statements 2 and 3. And option C says 2 and 3 only. So that is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 36. the uses of lenses is not applicable in the A. projector, B. human eye, C. periscope, D. telescope. So you are asked in which of these four options is or are lenses not applicable or used. Now let's look at each of the options. Now the first one says projector. Now of course the use of projector is to magnify an image on a screen. So an image which is formed within the projector is magnified, okay, into a larger image on the screen. Now as it involves magnification or increasing the size of an image, it makes use of a lens, projection, what is called a projection lens. So for this reason, a lens is applicable in it, and so it is not the answer to this question. Now B says human eye. Now in the diagram of the human eye, or among the parts of the human eye, the lens is actually a part of the human eye, and its function is to converge rays of light, to help to converge rays of light on another part of the eye called the retina. So it converges those rays of light on the retina so it can be sensed and interpreted by the brain. So there's actually a part of the eye called lens, so the lens is applicable to the human eye. And also aside that, various lenses are also used to correct eye defects in humans. So lens is applicable, and so it is not the answer to this question. Now C says periscope. Now a periscope is an instrument that is used to view over or around an object. So let's say you have an object like a mountain. So a periscope is used to view over that particular object from a point that it's not that visibility is usually poor. Now the periscope makes use of a classical periscope makes use of two mirrors at two ends set parallel to each other at a 45-degree angle. So you can see that this periscope makes use of mirrors and not lenses. So lenses are not applicable in the classical periscope. So the periscope is the answer to this question. And lastly, option D said telescope. Of course, telescope is used to view distant objects. So the distant object, of course, needs to be magnified, and hence a lens is used for that. So like we have established, option C, which is periscope, is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 37. Dispersion of white light is the ability of white light to A. penetrate air, water and glass, B. move in a straight line, C. move around corners, D. separate to its component colors. Now the concept we are looking at here is dispersion of white light, and dispersion of white light is defined as the separation of white light into its constituent spectrum of colors when it passes through a glass prism. Now the spectrum of constituent colors can be recognized by the mnemonic Roy Beef. Okay, so that's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. So we have defined dispersion of white light as the separation of white light into its constituent spectrum or constituent colors. So option D says separate to its component colors. So that, in summary, is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 38. A newly charged 12-volt accumulator can easily start a car, whereas 8 new dry cells in series with an effective EMF of 12 volts cannot start the same car because A. The current capacity is high, B. The current capacity is low, C. It cannot be recharged, D. It cannot easily be connected to the car. Now, you have two different types of batteries here of the same voltage or of the same combined voltage. Okay, you have a newly charged accumulator or lead acid accumulator, which is what is usually used as car battery. Lead acid accumulator of voltage or EMF 12 volts, and then you have 8 dry cell, okay, like your Tiger battery with an effective EMF of also 12 volts. So both the accumulator and the combination of the 8 dry cells have EMF of 12 volts. Now, but you can actually use the accumulator to start a car, but you cannot use the new dry cells to start the car. So they are asking you for the reason. Now, the reason is because the dry cells possess a much lower current, or dry cells supply a much lower current than the accumulator. Okay, and the current is not enough to kickstart the car. Now, the reason for this is because for the 8 dry cells, okay, they offer higher internal resistance. They offer higher internal resistance than one 12-volt accumulator. So because of this higher internal resistance that they offer, they cannot supply a higher current. So that is why they have a much lower current than the accumulator. So in summary, the reason for this is because the current capacity supplied by the 8 new dry cells, despite the fact that they have an EMF of 12 volts, is low. So option B says the current capacity is low. So that is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 39. 6 identical cells, each of EMF 2 volts, are connected as shown above. The effective EMF of the cell is A 0 volts, B 4 volts, C 6 volts, D 12 volts. So you have them connected in series, and for a series connection, the effective EMF, that is V total, is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus up to the number of individual EMFs you have. So for this case, they are 6. So that would be 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And that is equal to 12 volts. 12 volts is D, which is the answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers. Hello and welcome. I will be answering Jamb 2012 Physics Past Question 40. The fuse in an electric device is always connected to the A. neutral side of an electric supply, B. earth side of an electric supply, C. live side of an electric supply, D. terminal side of an electric supply. So in an electric device, there's what is referred to as the fuse, and we are asked where it is always connected to. Now, in an electrical device or for an electrical connection, the fuse is usually placed on the live side of the electrical supply. The live side of the electrical supply. And it is placed there. The reason why it is always placed there is to check for abnormal flow of current into the circuit. So it's more of like a protective measure like a protective or safety measure. Placing the fuse on the live side of the electric supply is like a safety measure, so that any abnormal flow of current, okay, either usually too high currents that may damage the circuit, can be detected by the fuse, hence preserving the circuit itself. So option C says live side of an electric supply. So that is where the fuse is connected always, and that is the correct answer to this question. Thank you, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos and for more past questions and answers.